What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of JK Sports. Today I'll be doing a video on the New York Jets. I'll be doing some videos on the most active teams, and unquestionably the Jets have been one of those. I'll definitely be doing one on the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know which one will come out first, but yeah. So let's start with who they re-signed. They re-signed David Harris, Bilal Powell, and Willie Colon. They re-signed David Harris at 3 years, $21.5 million, 15 of which is guaranteed. I think this was an overpay, definitely. Harris has lost a step or two and is not so great in coverage, and that obviously is not going to get any better with age. With that said, he is more valuable to the Jets than any other team, so they may have had to overpay. I would like to see the guaranteed money more around 10.5, but I think I like that they re-signed him. Bilal Powell, just a 1-year deal. I like it. He's been very consistent. He's not a flashy running back by any means, but very steady, reliable, and I like him as a second back. With that said, I think the Jets will be one of the teams that draft a running back in this year. They've been reportedly looking at Melvin Gordon, though Gordon would have to drop to their second, which I'm not sure will happen. Because they're obviously not going to take him with the 6th. And I think that would be a good running back core. Chris Ivory, number 1. I think Chris Ivory is a very underrated back. He just can't stay healthy. He's been okay so far with the Jets, but just some dings here and there, which is why I like that we brought back Powell. And for a year, it's fine. I know Buffalo had a lot of interest. Willie Colon. He does get a lot of penalties, undoubtedly, but it's only for a year at the veterans minimum, which is okay by me, especially since he is such a big locker room presence. I like that deal. Ideally, we will find a guard to replace him in the draft. I don't think there's a guard left in free agency that could unseat him. Maybe, but I'm okay with it, definitely. It's not that much money. Next to the moves that some new players that they got. Revis, 5 years, $70 million, 39 of which is guaranteed. If you saw the first video of free agency, I mentioned that I didn't mind this guaranteed money to a 30-year-old. Revis, one of the best corners in the game, if not the best. Him and Sherman, I know, go back and forth. Doesn't matter. They got one of the top 2, and I'm okay with this contract. I think he'll be one of those corners, like I said in the other one, like Champ Bailey or Charles Woodson, that can last a while, and if need be, can make the move to free safety. Cromartie, 4 years, $32 million. The guaranteed money, which is always key, has not been disclosed, but at that contract, I'll assume it's not that much, maybe 18, I would guess, total guess. But to pair those two up again, I think it's a great situation. They went from having one of the most porous secondaries, cornerback-wise, to probably the best, arguably the best, I'll say. And on top of that, they were able to get Buster Skrine, 4 years, $25 million, $13 million guaranteed. This one, because they signed him first, I can understand it, but getting Revis, Cromartie, and Skrine on top of it is a little hard to swallow. I would have preferred them to sign a pass rusher like Morgan or Arakpo with this money, but they couldn't take the risk on, obviously, Cromartie and Revis, or neither of them were givens, so they had to make a move. They just had to. The cornerbacks were just... the ones we have had on the roster entering free agency were just really bad. Milliner, he showed a lot of flashes at the end of his rookie year, but he missed an entire season. We can't rely on him being the number 1. So it's understandable, but it is what it is. Next, they were able to get James Carpenter from Seattle. Last year, they got Bruno Giacomini, the right tackle for Seattle. This year they bring in Carpenter. 4 years, $5 million per year, reportedly. That's a weird way to disclose it, but that's the only information out there on the contract. I have no idea what the guaranteed money is. but looks at most it'll be 20 million, maybe less. So I think that's okay. He only allowed 2 sacks in 2 years. I think I read that, outside of a Houston game where apparently he must have gave up a number of them, which I think can be understandable on a defensive line that has J.J. Watt, human wrecking ball, but I think that's okay, and you need all the protection you can get. If Geno Smith is going to be the starter, he just does not have very good pocket awareness, so that's a definite plus. On the flip side, Ryan Fitzpatrick, it's definitely going to be a huge quarterback battle. Unless they draft Mariota, it'll be a 3-way battle, but I imagine it'll be Smith and Fitzpatrick. They traded a 7th-round pick for Fitzpatrick that could escalate to a 6th depending on the playing time, which I think is reasonable. The 3 years he played under Gailey, I said this in the first free agency video, he threw for 23 touchdowns, 23, 24, and 24 under Gailey in Buffalo, which is, I don't remember the last time a Jets quarterback threw that many. I can't even remember the last time Jets quarterback was good, to be honest. Maybe Brett Favre. Good Lord. A huge splash. They were able to trade a 5th-round pick to get Brandon Marshall and a 7th-round pick. And that's just good value there. Brandon Marshall's still a #1 guy. I know he had Alshon Jeffrey opposite of him over there. Jeffrey is a big-time wide receiver. And Marshall had 31 touchdowns his 3 years in Chicago. This past year was his worst of the bunch, no doubt. But it's the first time not getting over 1,000 yards since his 2nd year in the league, which is huge. And he missed 3 games, and he still had over 700 yards, so he easily could have eclipsed 1,000 again. So he's definitely still got it, and he definitely brings a dimension to the receiving game that they haven't had since Edwards, Plaxico. Oh, Plaxico was... but I think this is huge. They just really lack talent on both sides of the ball, and I think that this influx is definitely going to help. As far as more free agents, I don't expect more, at least any splashy ones. I know they're rumored to be interested in Cecil Shorts, which would be okay, I guess. And they were interested in Mod Bradshaw. I'm not sure if that's still the case since they re-signed Bilal Powell. And as far as the draft, they already have a workout in place for Marcus Mariota, and like I said, they've worked out Melvin Gordon extensively. I'm not sure they'll be going with quarterback with that 6th pick. Obviously, Winston's going #1. Mariota may or may not go drop to them at 6. But I think they'll be going pass rusher, whoever may fall to them, whoever they like, out of Fowler, Beasley, Ray, or Gregory. I think any of them would definitely help. The outside linebackers haven't been so great. Quentin Coples definitely did a step up this past year. I think he still has potential. But we have Calvin Pace back again for, I don't know what, his 16th season. He's really old, he's really slow, but he's really solid, and he can still kind of get to the quarterback, which is very unusual. But I think he'd be a good mentor to any of these pass rushers. Not sure all of them can stand up and play. I'll have to see some of the workout drills. Shane Ray, I'm not sure if he can do it, but I like him. I like all these guys as prospects. So outside of that, I'll probably be making another mock draft video since all these big-time free agents have been signed up, and taking away some needs for these teams. And also look out for a Philadelphia Eagles video and a San Francisco 49ers. I don't plan on making any more unless something else happens. So thanks. Remember to like and subscribe.